Welcome back to the Deep Dive. Today, we're looking at a set of sources that, well, they basically offer the ultimate shortcut to becoming the environmental hero on your next big project.
A very specific kind of project, too.
Exactly. Our mission is to unpack the hard-won wisdom in the second volume of a very specialized series called Theme Park Sustainability.
And if you followed the first book, Theme Park Project Management, you know it was all about operational road mapping.
Right, the logistics, but this one, it shifts the focus entirely. It's about embedding real, lasting green solutions into these incredibly complex attractions.
And the author is key here. We're talking about the work of Val Usle, who was a Walt Disney Imagineer for over 4 decades.
4 decades is an incredible run.
It is. And crucially, Val wasn't just on the sidelines. For almost a decade, Val was on point as Imagineering's sustainability lead, the executive director of sustainable design.
So this is written for the people actually doing the work. You know, the in-house staff, the consultants who had to vet these green solutions and get them approved.
And they have to do it while living that corporate reality of do more with less.
Yeah, that phrase sounds familiar.
Well, that reality is what grounds the whole book. It starts right in the dedication. Val says, and I'm paraphrasing a bit here, meeting the green requirements of a building code is not sustainability.
Okay.
It just keeps you out of jail.
Wow. That's a pretty provocative stance. I mean, for most developers, meeting code is the entire goal.
Exactly. And Val argues that stopping there at just compliance, you sacrifice all the long-term operational savings, the resiliency.
So this is more of a practical guide.
It's a field manual. That's what the foreword calls it. It's designed to help you become the catalyst, human glue, and gap filler for the whole team.
That human glue part is so important, but it always comes down to money, doesn't it? How do you sell these sometimes expensive green ideas to a budget team?
You have to completely change the conversation. That's what part 1 is all about. Val makes clear that projected guest spending, that's almost never the thing that gets these ideas approved.
So what does?
Business intelligence. You have to be armed with financial tools that shift the focus away from just that initial price tag.
So we're talking about things like life cycle cost analysis, LCCA, that kind of thing.
Precisely. You use LCCA to show the total cost of ownership, the TCO, over decades. You use it to find utility incentives. It becomes an asset justification tool, not a cost center.
Okay, so that's the theory. Where did we see this model actually work in a massive real-world setting?
Well, you can see it in the high-impact work Val spearheaded. A big one was the successful push for LEED Silver certification for Aulani, the Disney Resort and Spa.
A huge project.
Huge. And another was developing the thermal energy storage system, the TES system, for all of Disney California Adventure.
And the book breaks all this down.
Yeah, it moves through context, the role of the subject matter expert or SME, teamwork, and then some really interesting pitfalls before getting to, like, 24 practical solutions.
You know, one of the pitfalls that really stood out to me was this idea about achieving net zero energy status in a theme park.
Oh, absolutely. It's extremely difficult. Almost a trap in some ways.
And it's because of something called process energy, right?
Yes, exactly. Yeah. Process energy.
And just so we're all on the same page, we aren't talking about, keeping the lights on or the AC running.
Not at all. We're talking about the huge, unpredictable power draws from the show and ride systems, the motors, hydraulics, special effects, all of it.
And you can't really forecast that accurately.
It's incredibly hard to do that early in the design process. So if you promise net zero and then you can't deliver because of process energy, you're exposed to some major risk.
Which I guess is why those utility scale solutions you mentioned are so critical. Tell us a bit more about how that thermal energy storage works.
Right, so this is about exploiting price differences. It's super effective with time of use or TOU, utility rates.
Where power is cheaper at night.
Exactly. You use that cheap midnight energy to create enormous banks of ice or super chilled water. Basically, you're storing the cooling.
So you can use it later.
You use it to handle the massive heat load at 3 in the afternoon when power is most expensive. You shift your entire cooling demand to off-peak hours. It's a huge economic win.
So at the end of the day, if your job involves getting these ideas into big, capital-limited projects, this is just invaluable. It's 4 decades of real experience.
It really is. And I think the final thought Val leaves you with is about the need to plant seeds for the future.
What do you mean by that?
It's about making provisions now for things you might not even implement for years, like running empty conduit for future solar arrays, or setting up plumbing for recycled water use, even if the treatment plant won't be online for a decade.
So you're thinking beyond the ribbon cutting.
Far beyond it.
It's the ultimate lesson in sustainability, isn't it? Building that flexibility into the very bones of the infrastructure. For you listening, what stands out in this deep dive? It might be time to start charting the path to your next big yes.